What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, That Guy Mile High, tuning back in for the reaction. This time we got another one of them cop vidges, you dig? This one's called Cop Plants False Evidence, Promptly Fired and Arrested. I think that's like one of my, I think everybody's, big fears when they deal with police and stuff is just like, I hope that there's, they don't find some stuff that's just not in the car for real. You know what I'm saying? Like, to be falsely accused and that would be just a terrifying situation. You know what I mean? But before we jump into that video, man, we gotta give a big shout out to all of the members of the channel. So if you want to get a shout out in the videos, the lives, take advantage of the perks, think about hitting that join button down below and get a shout out like all these people we got to talk about it right now. You know what I'm saying? Christy Poe, Funny Farm, Manly, Misty Summers, Sniper, Trefo 20, Driver Thighs, Ryan Parks, Kara, Marie, Carrie, Mr. Payford, Happy Chick, Epic Service, Lynn Willow, Jamal, Hologirl, Taylor, Hollaboy, Marla, Diesel, Nick, Creative Insane, Nicole, Aaron, Mama Dukes, Robin Lynn, Amy Jane Doe, Liz Nugget, My Hood Life, and Gary Willis. Shout out to all the members, man. Appreciate what you guys do and helping us achieve greatness. And yeah, if you can't be a member on like a paid level, it's okay. We got the free 99 option as well. Subscribe and hit that bell notification. Help us hit 100K sometime today. You dig what I'm saying? Anyways, man, let's jump into this video. Shout out to Audit the Audit. You already know you about to learn something when you deal with Audit to Audit because they are Audit the Audit because they break it down. You know what I'm saying? It's not legal advice. They make it very, very clear, and there's a disclaimer in the beginning of every video. So don't take this necessarily as legal advice or them giving you advice on how to deal with, police. They're just breaking down interactions that have already happened and, giving their 2 cents on why either party was doing their job right or making the situation harder or worse. You know what I mean? But anyways, let's go. Let's jump into this, man. Let's see. Boom. There's the disclaimer right there.
Welcome to Audit the Audit, where we sort out the who and what and the right and wrong of police interactions. This episode covers vehicle searches, planting evidence, and roadside chemical tests, and is brought to us by USA Today. Be sure to check out the description below and give them the credit that they deserve. Before we dive into the interaction, I want to give a big thanks to the sponsor of this episode, the Commuter 2 speaker from Cove. I've been using...
Shout out to Cove. I actually used to have a Cove speaker. It's broken right now. I need to get a new one. So I may actually take
the link in the description. This discount is only valid for 1 month, so click the link before it's too late. Thanks again to Cove for sponsoring this episode. On February 15th, 2018, at approximately 4 o'clock in the afternoon, Deputy Zach Wester of the Jackson County Sheriff's Office pulled over 52-year-old grandmother Teresa Odom in Marianna, Florida, because her vehicle brake lights were allegedly flickering on and off at a fast pace. At the time of the stop, Ms. Odom was on felony probation for dealing in stolen property. After Ms. Odom was pulled over, Deputy Wester approached the driver's side window of Ms. Odom's vehicle.
It's so weird that when people pull over in the middle of the road.
I'm good. Should I turn in here to get off?
You're fine. You're fine. Deputy Wester with Jackson County Sheriff's Office. Reason for my stop is your brake lights.
Yes, sir.
They work 1 minute, and the next minute they don't work, and then a few seconds later they just flash. Okay, so
It's probably because of the rain.
okay, that's fine. You got your driver's license on you, ma'am?
I just got tickets the other day. I'll be glad to show
Oh,
them
did
to
you?
you.
No, you're fine. All right, thank you. I'll be right
Seems
there.
real like, this is
My
nice.
truck may or may not start when I turn it off. You may have to push me off, so I'm going to go ahead and see.
Okay. Do you need to turn it off? Do you have to turn it off?
It'd probably be better.
Okay,
I'm on a hard time with it as it is.
Okay, I'll tell you what. If
Can
we
I
can.
answer my phone?
Yeah. You can answer your phone. I'm just trying to think what's going to be best for. What is? What is that right there?
What is what?
That right there.
What is what?
That straw right there.
This is no straw. It's an ink pen.
Oh, okay.
It's an
okay.
ink pen.
It was connected. It looked like it was
No
connected to
straw.
that arc. Just
Hey, I
hang
just
tight,
got
okay?
pulled over.
He was
See my
already
hip get out right there?
looking.
Good
What the
Lord.
fuck?
I just don't even need to know. I've been at the hospital with an
My
84-year-old
God.
uncle all day long for 3 days.
Okay.
So I'm expecting anything at this point.
That would be. Yeah, I hope everything turns out good with that. All right.
It did. It did.
Oh, Lord, have mercy. I'm
It did.
sorry.
And I'm waiting on Dr. Albritton to call me. That was another thing I was fixing to tell you.
Okay.
If Dr. Albritton calls,
That's
I may
fine.
answer his call.
Yeah, that ain't no problem. I don't care. Yeah, I'm not going to keep you from talking on the phone, okay? Anything in the vehicle I need to be concerned about? Bombs, hand grenades, rocket
What?
launchers? Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Here's what I do probably 10 or 15 times a shift, okay? There's going to be a K9 coming in a minute, and she's going to walk around the car, okay? But instead of doing that, would you consent to a search of your vehicle? You're fine with that? Okay. All right. You mind stepping out and just hanging out with this deputy right back here?
No, I don't. I'm scared of being in this traffic. To be
No,
honest.
Deputy Hayke will take care of you.
Deputy Wester informs Ms. Odom that a canine unit is on the way and requests that she consent to a search of her vehicle instead of waiting for the canine. Despite the fact that she was under no legal obligation to do so, Ms. Odom readily agrees to allow Deputy Wester to search her vehicle. In general, while officers are not prohibited from requesting to search a citizen's home, vehicle, or person, individuals have the right to refuse to consent. However, if an individual consents, officers have the authority to conduct a search, even if there is no probable cause, reasonable suspicion, or any justification whatsoever for the search. For this reason, criminal defense attorneys recommend that individuals refuse to consent to any search that an officer requests permission to conduct, because if an officer asks for consent to search, they typically do not have the legal authority to conduct the search without permission. It is also important to note that a court would almost certainly conclude that Deputy Wester did not have the reasonable suspicion necessary to detain Ms. Odom to wait for the canine unit to arrive. In the 2015 case of Rodriguez versus United States, the Supreme Court held that extending the duration of a traffic stop beyond the time reasonably required to complete the mission of the stop to wait for a canine unit to arrive and complete a dog sniff of the vehicle violated the Fourth Amendment. The court explained that, quote, an officer may conduct certain unrelated checks during an otherwise lawful traffic stop, but he may not do so in a way that prolongs the stop, absent the reasonable suspicion ordinarily demanded to justify detaining an individual. Here, Deputy Wester had absolutely no evidence that Ms. Odom was involved in criminal drug activity, so a court would likely decide that there was no reasonable suspicion to warrant detaining Ms. Odom to wait for the canine unit.
Super cooperative and everything, bro.
And I get take my phone.
She don't even want to. She don't even want no police contact. She's like, man, I'm gonna just try to do what y'all ask and go about my day.
2554 to 2540. You can cancel. I got consent. All right, Deputy Haycare, make sure you don't get run over, okay? Because I have faith that he would prefer to get over. All right, just hang tight, my son.
Bro, why are you messing with this old lady, bro? She out here minding her business. Give her a little citation for her fucking brake lights and let her go.
Here, the body cam footage video shows what appears to be a small baggie in Deputy Wester's hand as he puts on his gloves. It was later proven that Deputy Wester planted methamphetamine in Ms. Odom's vehicle. Although there are no statutes in Florida that explicitly prohibit police officers from planting drugs, doing so in order to falsify charges against an individual violates many different state laws. For instance, Section 838.022 of the Florida statutes, which defines the offense of official misconduct, states that, quote, it is unlawful for a public servant to knowingly and intentionally obtain a benefit for any person, or to cause unlawful harm to another by falsifying any official record or official document. So, if Deputy Wester included information about planted drugs in a police report or another official document, he could be found guilty of official misconduct. Similarly, Section 918.13 of the Florida statutes, which outlines the crime of fabric.
That is nuts. So there's no, like, him actually planting the drugs is not illegal. He can actually do that, but he, as soon as he mentions the drugs in like the police report, then he can get in trouble. Like,
evidence
what kind of
states
ass
that,
backwards
quote,
shit
no
is
person
that?
knowing that an investigation by a duly constituted law enforcement agency of this state is pending or is about to be instituted shall make, present, or use any record, document, or thing knowing it to be false. Therefore, Deputy Wester could violate this statute by presenting planted drugs as evidence against Ms. Odom, or including a false narrative in a police report. And of course, Deputy Wester also likely illegally possessed the drugs that he planted, in violation of Section 893-13 of the Florida statutes. Although planting drugs or other evidence is highly unethical and illegal behavior, some police officers do engage in such conduct, and individuals who are the victims of planted evidence often feel powerless to fight the charges against them when it's their word against a corrupt officer's. However, public defenders and criminal defense lawyers can help citizens who are charged with crimes based on planted evidence defend themselves, so individuals should never plead guilty to criminal charges without first consulting an attorney. After planting the evidence in Ms. Odom's vehicle, Deputy Wester confronts her about the substance.
Look, right there, he kind of bent forward so he could plant that shit. What the fuck was he doing? Moving that? Is that some draws or something?
I can't see the brother or David. Neither he nor his brother Franklin.
Miss Odom.
It is yogurt, son.
I know. Okay.
It's yogurt.
How about this, son?
That is not mine. No, sir.
Okay. I'm not going to ask you any
No,
direct, hold on.
sir.
I'm not going to ask you any direct questions. I'm going to read you your rights first, okay? So just hang out with
Bruh,
me.
that shit is foul as fuck.
I have an idea. We're going to test it, though, okay?
Bruh, that shit is
I don't know.
No,
foul.
Teresa, you're going to jail.
Yep.
Wow.
What? Okay.
Yeah, there it goes.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. Thank you, Jess. No, do you have anything on you, Miss Odom?
I said I didn't have anything on me in the truck.
Oh, okay, but do you have anything on your person is
I
what I'm
have
asking.
nothing on me to my knowledge
Okay,
at
thank
all.
you. We're good. Okay, all right.
And I'm not trying to be over.
It did return presumptive positive for methamphetamine, okay? I'm just letting you know, okay?
Deputy Wester conducts a
Wow.
field chemical test on the planted substance and informs Ms. Odom that the test was presumptive positive for methamphetamine. According to a feature in the New York Times, there are many factors that can impact the results of a roadside field test. For instance, the Florida Department of Law Enforcement reports that 21% of substances submitted to its labs as methamphetamine were not methamphetamine, and half of the false positives were not even
Wow.
illegal drugs. In fact, in the first 7 months of 2014 alone, the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office in Florida reported 15 false positives for methamphetamine after deputies misunderstood which colors indicated a positive result. Environmental factors can
They're
also interfere
idiots,
with the
bro.
field test, with cold weather slowing the development of color results and heat speeding it up. And lighting conditions on the street can prevent officers from accurately determining the color of the results strip. These issues are not limited to methamphetamine tests, as a common field test for cocaine uses a chemical called cobalt thiocyanate, which turns blue when exposed to cocaine, as well as over 80 other chemical compounds, including acne medications, common household cleaners, and
Wow,
methadone.
so
Although
fucking
field chemical testing is
everything.
too
Anything in your
unreliable to be
kitchen.
used as evidence in
Like,
court,
what the
it
fuck?
can be used to obtain probable cause to arrest individuals found with substances in their possession. However, because the vast majority of drug cases in the United States are resolved through plea bargains, prosecutors often accept guilty or no contest pleas before more accurate lab testing is conducted on the purportedly illegal substances. In other words, despite the fact that field drug tests are not admissible as evidence, a large proportion of drug convictions are based solely on the results of these tests. However, it should be noted that the results of the test Deputy Webster conducted were not a false positive, since Deputy Webster actually did plant methamphetamine in Ms. Odom's vehicle.
What about my truck?
I'm going to have to tow it, okay, since it's a narcotics felony arrest, okay?
That's
They
wild,
say
bro.
they're gonna tow my truck, baby.
That is so foul.
Here, you just want to put your phone and your sunglasses in your purse here, and we'll make sure all this gets to the jail.
Ms. Odom was placed under arrest and charged with felony counts of methamphetamine possession and drug paraphernalia. She was held in jail for 19 days and then pled no contest to the charges. Ms. Odom later explained why she didn't fight the charges, stating that, quote, "I just didn't think I'd be able to beat anything, being as it was law enforcement. And I wanted to get home and take care of my grandbaby. She was about to be 3 months old." In August 2018,
That's
the Florida
so sad,
Department of
bro.
Law Enforcement
That's
initiated
fucked
an
up.
investigation into Deputy Wester's conduct at the
Good.
request of the Jackson County Sheriff's Office. Deputy Wester was placed on administrative leave on August 1st, 2018, and fired on September 10th.
Good.
The Department of Law Enforcement's
Fucking
investigation
bastard.
found that Deputy Wester routinely pulled over citizens for minor traffic infractions, planted drugs inside their vehicles, and arrested them. In response to these allegations, prosecutors reviewed almost 300 cases in which former Deputy
Damn.
Wester was involved, and dropped charges and vacated convictions in over 100 of those cases. Ms. Odom was among
Damn.
those found to be affected, and on September
She
18th,
was fucking out
2018,
there
her
being
convictions were vacated
foul.
and the charges against her were dismissed. On July
Good.
10th, 2019, Mr. Wester was arrested on numerous felony and misdemeanor charges, and on May 18th,
Good.
2021, a jury found Mr. Wester guilty of 19 out of the 67 charges
Holy
against him, and he
shit.
was eventually
But that's
convicted
good.
of 12
Fuck him.
felonies. On July 13th, 2021, Mr. Wester was sentenced sentenced to 12 and a half years in state prison for these convictions. Mr. Wester has since filed an appeal, and as of the date of this episode, the appellate case is still pending. Over a dozen of Mr. Wester's victims have filed civil rights lawsuits over his misconduct, and on July 25th, 2019, Ms. Odom filed a federal lawsuit against Mr. Wester. As of the date of this episode, her case is also still pending. Overall, former Deputy Wester gets an F for displaying a total lack of compassion and empathy for Ms. Odom and his other victims, maliciously neglecting his duty as a member of law enforcement, and for abusing his policing authority and intentionally jailing innocent citizens. This interaction largely speaks for itself. And it goes without saying that Mr. Wester's conduct was nothing short of cruel and criminal. Although an exact motive was never established, evidence was presented that suggested that Mr. Wester wanted to secure a position on his department's drug task force, which his father, Robert Wester, had ran for approximately 15 years. Again, this motive has not been proven beyond a reasonable doubt, but if true, it demonstrates the lengths that Mr. Wester was willing to go in an effort to advance his own career at the expense of innocent citizens. Ironically enough, several of Mr. Wester's victims reported him telling them to, quote, be careful who you have around, and, quote, a lot of people you think you can trust, you can't. This is yet another officer that deserves a grade lower than an F. And this interaction highlights the important role that independent verification plays in police encounters. As for Ms. Odom, it would not be appropriate to assign a grade to an individual who was purely a victim of misconduct and not in control of any aspect of the encounter. There is no doubt that Ms. Odom should not have given the deputy permission to search her vehicle. But considering that Mr. Wester demonstrated a complete disregard for the law, it's difficult to see how the interaction would have been any different otherwise. If Ms. Odom had refused consent, then Mr. Wester would have likely waited for a canine unit, despite the Rodriguez ruling, and then planted false evidence anyway. Ms. Odom was faced with an impossibly difficult and emotionally traumatizing situation, as were the rest of Mr. Wester's victims. But she somehow managed to stay calm, compliant, and respectful while being falsely accused of felony crimes. I commend Ms. Odom for maintaining her composure and for following up this encounter with the proper legal action. Let us know if there is an interaction or legal topic you would like us to...
See, that's that shit, man. I'm telling you, man, I've never had any bad encounters, but like, that's shit, bro. That shit terrifies me. That's why I just be trying to just do my best to just in and out with the police. You know what I'm saying? Sorry, sir. My bad, sir. Yeah, thank you for my ticket, sir. All right, bye, sir. Like, you know what I'm saying? I want to go. I'm going to be gone, bro. I don't want to deal with cops any longer than I have to. But y'all let me know what you thought about that down in the comments below. If y'all had any crazy encounters like that or planted evidence, like, let me know. That'd be crazy to like hear some stories, bro. If you got videos, send them over. Let's watch them. Let's do some reactions to them, bro. I'm curious. But yeah, y'all let me know what you thought about that down in the comments below. And I'm gonna catch you on the next one. Peace.